Be the Bridge community. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. We've wanted to do this for so long, and it finally has happened. I have my friend, the one and only Mrs. Jen Hatmaker. She is
Yes.
the New York Times bestselling author of 14 books, including For the Love, of Mess and Moxie, Fear is Free and Full of Fire, and her latest project, Feed These People. And she a recipe book. She's doing it all. She is the curator for the Jen Hatmaker Book Club and the whole stuff. Her award-winning podcast, For the Love, and I am so happy to be with her. She is also the co-founder of Legacy Collective, a giving organization that grants millions of dollars towards sustainable projects around the world. And she is the mom to 5 kids, and she lives in my former home, Austin, Texas.
That's right.
Yes, and this is where I met
That's
Jen
right.
in Austin, Texas. And what I'm doing is, as I am about to launch a book, I'm actually having some conversations with people who were here from the beginning. And Jen, you were here from the beginning, and I know
Yeah.
some of our audience may not know that. They may not remember that, but even when I was reading this about Legacy Collective,
Yeah.
I mean, with I'm just gonna say this, like, without the support of the friendships and the people, and people leveraging their influence, I don't know if Be the Bridge would be here, because I remember wanting to start this and not having the upstart money. And Legacy Collective came alongside of Be the Bridge in the very beginning, and it was the first major donation that we had
Yeah.
to really help make it a 501c3. And so I don't forget that, and I know you
Yeah.
haven't forgot that,
Yeah.
and that is not removed from me, and how that has happened. And not only that, just your enduring support, not just from the beginning, but even now. I know that I can pick up a phone or text and text you. It may take you a little bit. Now, actually,
You know me.
no, to be honest, you actually text back. I was,
Within 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like, that's about my window. So
Yeah.
I'll get there. I'll
Yeah.
get there.
And I wanted your advice on something I was going
Yeah.
through earlier this year. And I was like,
Yeah.
I need to ask people that have journeyed that pathway before me.
Yeah.
And I was able to text you. We got on the phone, and you helped me walk through that. And so I think that's the real important thing in this work of racial bridge building. Is there's no time stamp on it, you know?
No, there
And
isn't.
and it's like, we don't get to talk every day. Our lives are in so many different places. But I know at the end of the day, and I hope you know this too, that you can text me
I
and I
do.
can text you, and
I do.
and it's going to be there. So
I absolutely do.
I love you so much. It's so
Same.
good to see you, because we were
Same.
talking on the phone, but I didn't get to see you. So listen, there's so much going on right now. How are you doing? Wait a minute, you just had something major to happen,
I mean,
and
listen.
I mean,
Listen, I don't want to make a big deal out of it, but like, Oprah knows my name. So
listen. I want to make a big deal about it.
I'm just
And
joking.
so you don't have
But
to make
I
a big deal
mean,
about it.
Oprah raised me. Like she raised me. I jetted home from high school every day, and I'd make my garbage snacks, whatever mom had in the pantry, and come 4 p.m. I'm ready. Who's Oprah got today? Let's see it. I was trying to explain this to my daughter. My daughter's about to turn 24.
Oh my goodness.
And Oprah's show ended in 2011. So, this next generation doesn't know Oprah like we do. Like,
they don't.
She's our person. And they were just littles, like, when she was kind of going off of her show. So anyway, it was really special, and she was really special. And, the close the loop moment here is that it's always meant something to me. It's always been special and important,
Yeah.
and have a sense of honor and duty and responsibility and gratitude when
Yes.
someone like you invites
Yeah.
me into an important conversation. So
Yeah.
that does not mean it's a one and done conversation. It's not
Right.
like, hey, racism is fixed.
Yes.
Ever,
Right.
but it's a table that is set imperfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always grateful to have a seat and say, I wonder if we could reimagine a different world than the one we see. And that's what you do. And that
Yeah.
is kind of the invitation you held out to me. God, when, what year?
Oh my goodness. It had to be in 2015. I think
Yeah.
we met before 2015. We
Yeah.
met in like 2014, but
Yeah.
I
That feels
remember
right.
when that conversation happened at the conference, you came up to me and you
Yeah.
said, the conversation has shifted. You were like, Tasha, like the conversation has shifted. And I remember looking at you like, what in the world are you talking about? What?
What's this girl?
What's going on?
Who's this girl?
I had no
Yeah.
idea. And
Yeah.
it did. And I mean,
Yeah.
we were doing courageous things back then. We're still doing courageous things. We're
Yes.
having conversations that sometimes other people don't want to have. And like,
Right.
and I know like just even the Oprah thing, like, there was a piece done on Be the Bridge in her magazine, I think in 2020, 2021.
I
And
remember
and
this.
our team was doing the same thing. We were like, Oprah knows our name. So I know
It's team no chill.
yes, no chill. It's like it's a thing because the things that you were talking about and referring to are things that are on people's heart and their mind, and you were just sharing your heart, not knowing that things were happening. You were being Jen.
Yeah.
And being
and
your
I think it's the best we can
self.
do. If everything is a risk analysis, if everything is trying to manage an outcome, specifically a response to a conversation that is fraught, and that comes with history and pain and triggers, and we'll never ever get to the table. Really, like, I have some sort of internal mechanism where I go, all right, let's analyze the merits of the conversation, maybe, or the host, or, the where is it going? What's the North Star of this conversation? And then also, we may just have to do this imperfectly. And we're going to let people respond how they do. That's not what we're in charge of. We're not in charge of outcomes and responses. However, what we are in charge of is sitting across from people and saying, what sort of world do you envision that is healthier, more fair, more equitable, truer, better, kinder, wiser? Those are my favorite conversations. And they tend to be clunky and slow. And so it's not sexy work. That's for sure.
It is not. And like you said, like we always say, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And and we're in it for the long haul, and it's going to be ugly, and it's going to be messy. And this goes back to, like, I remember you were in one of the original Be the Bridge groups. Faith Brooks was your leader.
We made her be her leader. I think she was 22 years old. I think she was 22 years old. And do you know what you gave her? Do you know what her curriculum was for our little pilot Be the Bridge group? I remember that she brought it to our first group at Large Eddings house. And it was whatever you had given her printed out on the front of one page and the back half of it. That's it. We had a page and a half of Be the Bridge curriculum. And you're like, go be a group. And so, I mean, we just, again, started imperfectly. We sat at a table that was set to the best of our limits at the time, and went, what can we still learn? Like, where could this go? You knew your vision for Be the Bridge was absolutely anointed. And so even if we started with a page and a half, look at it. It's bonkers what you have built.
It was an entry point. It was an entry
That's right.
point for a lot of people. I even think about Marcy, who was in
Yeah,
your group, and like
that's right.
all that she's doing now. And I remember I had a conversation with her last year when she came out with her book, and I remember her us meeting for lunch. And there's not a lot of, like, in the spaces we were in Austin,
Yeah,
there's not a lot of people that look
exactly.
like she
That's
and
right.
I. And she was like, wait a minute, we mad, are we mad? Okay, I'm gonna get mad. Like,
I
it
love
was
her so
so
much.
cute. It was
Yeah,
so
it's so
cute. But
cute.
like, to see all that
Yeah,
she's doing and all that she's lending her voice to,
that's right.
I couldn't be just more proud
So
of just
proud.
all the good work that everyone is doing, standing up for those in the
Yeah.
margins. So I'm just
That
really
little
grateful.
group. Faith has
Yeah.
since written a book.
Yep.
Marcy has
Yep.
written a book.
Yep.
That little group was
I know.
incubated with some thinkers and some
Yes.
leaders and some really
Yeah.
gifted communicators. Like, that was an
Yes.
embarrassment of riches around that dining room table with our 1.5 sheets of
Yeah.
instructions.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you really have led a movement, a
Yeah.
true movement, and it's profound
Yeah.
to witness.
Jen,
Profound.
can you believe that it's been 8 years? It'll be eight
I know.
years coming up in June. Like,
I
and I
know.
mean, I was very resistant. Like,
Yeah.
and so to say 8 years later, I mean, it has not
Hmm.
been easy. It is still
Yeah.
not easy. It's very difficult right now.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of shifts in our culture since, the 8 years.
Oh
Like,
gosh.
if we go back, what was happening in 2015,
Yeah.
16, we
Yeah.
had the election,
Yep.
and and I remember some encouragement even through that. Like, people were, saying, like, for such a time as this, for such a time as this. And I was like, I don't want no time like this. Like,
I
no.
know. I
Like,
know. I
please
I don't want
stop.
it.
Like, I don't
I don't
want it.
want
I don't want it.
it.
Look,
Yeah.
I was like, we haven't
Yeah.
done enough. Like, but
Totally. And then moved
and
into George Floyd and
oh my
all the
goodness.
Black Lives Matter
Oh my
movement. I
goodness.
mean, really and
Everything.
truly.
I think because we were coming in the I think when we were coming along originally, it was like Ferguson was in
Yeah,
the
that's
midst
right.
of
Exactly.
Ferguson.
That's
And
right.
then we had the Charleston Nine,
Yep.
all the things that happened in Charleston. So that
Mm.
was kind of like the beginning stages. And now here we are, where it's like we
Yeah.
have, America has a very short term memory. So here we are,
Mm.
4 years removed from
Mm.
the half reckoning that we had in 2020,
That's right.
and everybody done lost their mind, and
Yeah.
strategically lost their mind, and
Mm.
flipping the script and trying to roll things
Mm.
back. You're right there in the midst of Texas. And so you're
God.
witnessing it. You have kids in college,
Yeah. Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah. All of their
What,
programs have been
yeah,
stripped from their universities.
yeah, yeah,
It's devastating.
yeah,
We are racing backward in real
yeah,
time right now.
yeah,
Certainly in
yeah,
Texas, but we're not
yeah,
the only culprits
yeah,
here.
yeah.
We're in a dogfight with Tennessee and Florida. It is a race to the bottom.
Every, that's what I'm saying. It's a race. I was
Yes.
like, wow, we are
Yeah.
like, when you think about the predecessors, like, people
Yeah.
who have led, in, those states historically. When I look back at, George Wallace and just the different ones, like some of the governors and things that they said, like, history
Mm.
keeps a receipt, and
Mm.
history is keeping a receipt.
That's right.
And 20 years from now, 30 years from now, what will history
That's right.
say about you? And so
Oh, we'll
some of those
listen.
things
Mm.
at that time, maybe they didn't realize the
Mm.
waywardness of their ways and the wickedness of their hearts. But now we can point back, but we always say, like, man, like, but they had, I always say, they had the Bible just like we have the Bible. Like,
Mm.
they, like, so
Isn't it?
I
It's
have empathy, but not like empathy when we
yeah.
think about some of the things that has passed. But like,
That's right.
we've seen a lot of shift and a lot of changes. What
Mm.
ways have you seen yourself, like, shift and change when you go back 8 years ago, or when you go back 10 years ago, from where Jen, Hatmaker was, and how Jen
Gosh.
Hatmaker has grown?
I was just talking to Tyler about this yesterday. I was telling him that you and I were going to be on today, and I was talking about our friendship and our history. And I was laughing with him because I just, I said, Tasha is uniquely gifted to lead this particular organization in this exact way, which is very largely in white spaces, or even mostly, if that's a fair thing to say. And I'm like, I remember asking her early on, don't you wish you were gifted differently? Don't you wish somebody else could do this? Like, this is a hard one. Why did you have to take this baton? You lead in a hard space.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
Not easy. You are clawing your way for every inch you gain. And I think about your leadership and friendship to me in those early days that we're talking about. And that was near sort of the beginning of my internal process and work that I was doing just to dismantle my own innate sense of white supremacy and bias and learn. That was my I was in my learning journey too. I still am, of course, but that was near the beginning of it. And what I was telling Tyler yesterday, and I just said, this is what I can tell you for sure about Tasha is she is a good teacher. And you taught me. You were one of my most profound teachers during the worst phase of learning, which is the first phase. It's so terrible. It's just so terrible. It's sloppy. It's ignorant. It's uninformed. It's that horrible phrase I hate, well-intentioned, all the well-intentioned white people. And I was at the front of the line saying nonsense. Just saying nonsense, not understanding yet, and not listening. We only know how to be centered in a conversation. That's been our entire lived experience. And so you're my first teacher who said, nobody is centered. You got to be quiet for 3 months. The amount of people I have told that rule to, Tasha, is 10 billion. I'm like, let me tell you the best thing I ever learned, and from one of the best teachers I ever had. And so you have this. You're just gifted this way. I know I've told you this a million times, but you have a patience and you just have a gentle soul. You are a gentle natured person. You're even, and you're just built for this. And
that's
so
just that 9. That's that 9 in me.
I know. That's what Sarah Bessie always says.
But I can
She's like, we got rage under here. We have rage. We just aren't allowed to show it.
I'm telling you, that's that 9, but that 8 helps me. It keeps me going,
Your 8 is strong.
And everybody they know when the 8 is scary in a 9. The 8 is scary in a 9.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Because when you touch that rail, you're there. You're past there. And so everybody needs to buckle up when the 9 goes 8.
Right. That is so funny. Oh my goodness. I mean, I think about, just even how I've done some training with your community and all the things. And there's a lot of things that happens on the back end that people don't see and people don't know. There's conversations that, you have that people don't see and people don't know. And even for me, when things happen or people mess up, all the different things, I am never, and I'll just, say this, I am never about the call out like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I have relationships with people, I'm going to text you. I'm going to DM you. I'm going to talk to you because, first of all, that's how I would want someone that's a friend of mine to react. And I love the way in any times that we've had conversations, you are so humble. You are reflective. You're like, girl, I didn't even know what I was thinking. I was just such and such,
Totally.
And I love the fact that I'm going to look out for my people, and I'm, and I'm going to, to try to initiate things if there's something I feel like I can speak into, And I think the greatest thing that we tell people in this work is that you have to start from a place of humility.
That's right. Right. That's it. That's 80%.
So key. That is so key.
It's so key. You taught that. You set that expectation for the community you lead, which is important. It's important because it's your responsibility to protect the
Right.
members of your
Yeah.
community
Yeah.
and to
Yeah.
protect their souls and their
Yeah.
psyches from further harm
Yeah.
from a bunch of people who don't know what they're saying yet.
Right.
And that matters. And that's really, really important. And I'll just tell you, I still feel that way. I still feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I am not the front of the march holding the banner. I'm
Yeah.
back
I know.
behind you. I'm here. I'm with
Yeah.
you. But I'm like, lead
Yes.
on. Lead on. You're
Yes.
such a good
Yes.
leader.
Yeah.
And I have learned so much from you. So,
Mm-hmm.
so, so much from you. And I credit you with doing this slow, hard work
Mm-hmm.
of turning a tide. It's so slow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
slow. Oh, I wish it could be
It's
faster, but this is
yeah.
how it goes.
Yeah. And we're gonna stay, like I tell our team that we're in this work when it's in the news and when it's not, when
That's
people are
good.
listening and when people are not, when people value it and see that it matters are important and when it's not,
That's
because we're
right.
not reactive. We're not reactive in this. We
Yeah,
are proactive in this.
that's
And
right.
I'm even thinking about even, you are a parent that has adopted transracially,
Mhm.
and I even think about like even some of the things that has been inspiring because we be the bridge. We reach a lot of parents that have that has done that, and I
Mm.
love how your posture in that, and how you write about so many times your
Mhm.
journey and how that was the beginning of some of the learning for you,
Yeah.
but I also remember you putting your son, I think, on a football league, and you wanted
Mhm.
him to be more connected with
Yeah.
people that look like him, and y'all were driving like this
We
long
drove to the next
distance,
town.
yeah,
Yeah.
to the next
We drove to
town
the next
in
town. So all
order
of his
in order to do
coaches
that.
were black.
Yeah, yeah,
His teammates were black.
yeah,
He saw his self represented in the stands and on the field.
yeah,
And yeah, that was a great decision. And that's not hard. Like,
yeah,
I love the word, the work, because that's what it is.
yeah,
But
hmm,
it's just a choice. A lot of it's just a
yeah,
choice.
yeah,
Is it
yeah,
hard to drive to the next town? It's not.
yeah,
Like in the big scheme of things,
hmm,
that is not a heavy lift for what it creates in my son's heart and
yeah,
soul and his as he's developing his
yeah,
worldview and as he already has to be in a white family.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that
yeah,
is
yeah,
already racially disruptive to his
yeah,
story. And
yeah,
so
yeah,
but again, these were conversations we were having too
yeah,
back then. Like, this is what it looks like. Like,
yeah, yeah,
and I learned from a lot of people in your community, you of course, but also a lot of people in the
yeah,
community,
yeah, yeah,
because that your space is a no holds barred. Like
yeah,
it's on.
yeah.
It's on.
It's
Hmm.
on, and I think one of the things, even with forming Legacy Collective, the need for that, and the reaching back and reaching forward and the reaching
Yeah.
sideways that
Yes.
Legacy Collective has done. And
Mm.
I mean, you tell the story of Ben and his,
Yeah.
like being able to find his mom, and
Yeah.
you've taken him back there to
Yeah.
Ethiopia. He's in contact with his
Yes.
his family there. Just that whole story. I mean, if you
Yeah.
guys read her books and follow her,
Hmm.
you know some of those things, but I
Yeah.
think those are some of the things that are really inspiring, and as women like you tell those stories, other people with are able to glean from those. People who are listening are able to
Yeah.
kind of pull up a chair and listen and grow as you are listening and growing, being able to
Mm.
share some of those parts from you with sometimes criticism, and then
Yeah.
sometimes joy. Those things are going to connect with the things that people
Yeah.
are connecting with. Why do you think it's important, Jen, like just where we are now? I know even Tyler, like he uses
Mhm.
the arts, like if you
Mm.
guys know Tyler, like I drink my coffee black. It's so funny,
Mhm.
like we've never met, but I feel like I know him.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think about that, and I know you've had a lot of conversations. um, why do you think it's important for us to collectively tell our story and not conceal the difficult parts of our history. Why is that important for us? You know, I'm talking about in this new book, systemic racism, and so much of this, like, I mean, we want to conceal. I'm like, you guys are banning Ruby Bridges'
Yes.
book. And
Yeah.
Ruby Bridges is alive and well and
That's right.
69 years old, 68 or 69. She is
Yeah.
on Instagram wearing Chuck Taylors, you know, like, and you're silencing her story because it makes you feel bad. I mean, why do you think that is, first of all, the most absurd thing, but why is it so unhealthy? Yeah.
If you could even know the
I
letters I
know.
have written my legislators about this.
I know.
I'm like, number
I
one,
know.
you know, I mean, I just
Yeah.
buckle up, Governor.
I know.
I can speak personally.
Okay.
And just tell you that toward the beginning of the season where I'm like, I want to opt in here. I want to opt in as a learner. I want to opt in as knowingly a part of this dominant culture who has no outside experience. I'm going to have to pull up a seat to a new table and listen.
Yeah.
For me, outside of listening and learning from your lived experiences, from the lived experiences of so many Black teachers and Black authors and Black leaders and Black activists and everybody that I was like listening to at the time, it was history that reached down into the center of my soul and changed me. It was his, and I grew up in Kansas. And so my history, like much of America's, was literally whitewashed. There were just whole sections left out, whole ideas reframed, and just the brutality of slavery and white supremacy. All of it just dimmed. Of course, the light just dimmed right on down, so it was a little bit more palatable. And so it was actual U.S. history, just not embellished, not editorialized, not like a bunch of commentary. Just here it is on the page. Here, here, and then here, boop, boop, boop. Decade after decade, generation after generation, that arrested me for this work. And so people can find a place to hide from the work of anti-racism inside their feelings. That white people have done it forever. You know, the need to appear virtuous, particularly for Christians, but it doesn't matter, all white people, to appear virtuous. And this beautiful idea that white people have, which is that everybody gets what they have on merit, right? You know, which somehow says, well, look at how much merit we must have. Wow, we are killing it. The white people are killing it. You know, we love that idea. And so there's all these constructs that can keep us separated and distanced from the work of anti-racism. Right. But you know what won't? Cold, hard facts. History. History. This is what happened on the page. No, there's no, it's not up for debate. We're not sorting out the truth of it. This is what happened. It was baked into the origin story of America, and it has been the bedrock of every system, every structure, and every generation since. That's just facts. And so stripping our libraries, our universities, our public school systems, our corporations with their DEI departments, stripping them of the opportunity to steer the next generation into real history. It's not just upsetting. It's dangerous. We're in trouble. We're in trouble.
And I'm so glad you said that, because like I don't think people understand the dangers that we're in. You know, I was just thinking, I was watching. I think it was a protest happening at one of the universities. Like the universities are protesting, and it was a protest. protesting was happening at one of the southern universities, and there
Mm.
were some racist
Yeah.
remarks said against one of the protesters. And
Yeah.
for a moment, I
Saw
thought,
that.
like, I mean, peaceful protesting is a healthy thing. People are going to say things that you don't want to hear or say, but they have the right to do that.
Mm.
And I remember thinking, like, man, although she is being brave right now and trying to stand up, I know that pain
Mm.
when you are
Mm.
called out of your name, when you are
Mm.
mocked. And I just remember, because
Mm.
I was one of those students who was called a name by someone in a
Yeah.
frat. But I remember I had a recourse on my university to go to this organization called ABLE, Allied Blacks for Leadership and Equality. I had a minority student affairs office that I can go and talk to
That's
that
right.
dean and
That's right.
help and get resources to help navigate being in this
Mm.
PWI, this predominantly white institute.
Yeah.
And I was thinking at that moment, like, a lot of these kids with things happening, they're not going to have a recourse.
That's right.
They are not creating safe universities,
That's right.
or even brave or courageous universities, because what's
That's
safe
right.
for you may not be safe for me, and what's safe for some and not safe for others. And so,
That's right.
but sometimes being able to create these brave spaces where you deal in the tension of all of these things that are happening on our university, especially with the protests, with in the war against Palestine and Israel, like all those things that are
Yeah.
happening. And I'm just like, wow, like this is going to be devastating. And
That's right.
like, and I don't have children that are in college, but I know for me right now, like, I'm like, although I went to a PWI, I wouldn't feel safe sending my kids to a
Yeah.
PWI right now,
Yeah.
and that's just
Totally.
that's just real talk. It could be wrong, but it's just how I'm feeling right now. And I mean, um when we think about justice, truth and justice and history, and what are some things right now that's helping you to persevere when we're looking at, like, because it's easy, Jen, for us to get into despair and to lose hope.
Totally.
I mean,
Yeah.
for me, even for me right now in
Yeah.
this moment, to see us like do an about face,
Yeah.
and to say one thing and do something else.
That's
I
right.
do know that we have a minority group of people that have power, that are speaking on behalf of a majority people, which is which is interesting, even as it relates to our politics and all
Yeah.
of those things. What are some things that's helping you persevere right now to not give up?
God, everything feels so rattled right now.
I
It
know.
it is so.
Yeah.
We're in an overwhelming moment
Yeah.
in our
Yeah.
culture, in our country, and everybody feels it.
Yeah.
I feel the edges fraying,
Yeah.
and this stuff's same as you. I lay awake
Yeah.
at night and
Yeah.
worry, but even though you just used a really salient example of how racism is very easily and intentionally even passed on generation to generation, as
Yeah.
you referenced that school in
Yeah.
Mississippi,
Yeah.
where those kids are 20, they're
Yeah.
19, those boys yelling, that's their
Yeah.
kids,
Yeah.
repeating cycles. So
Yeah.
even though that is true, we just saw that made national news, and that's factual. One thing that is keeping me marginally encouraged
Mm-hmm.
is what I think is maybe a larger story, or a broader story of the next generation, in which
Yeah.
I'm finding a lot of hope.
Okay.
In general, again, this is not a carte blanche.
Right.
Everything's fixed in the next generation, because of course it's
Uh-huh.
not. But
Right.
I feel really hopeful for this next gen coming up. I
Yeah.
parent them. I have a bunch of them.
Yeah.
They're mine. They're
You
mine.
know, so much.
They're here.
Right.
Like I pay some of their bills.
Yeah.
And
And one
you know,
just got married. I mean, one just got
one just
married.
got married.
Yeah.
He's launched off the payroll.
Yeah.
We love to see it.
Uh,
So I know them. I know their friends. I know their community. I've known them for a long time. They're different.
mm,
They're different. They're coming
yeah.
up different. They
Mm,
know more by a
yeah.
mile than I knew at
Yeah.
their age.
Yeah.
They're asking
Yeah.
questions I did not even think to ask until my 30s. Like
Yeah.
they're paying attention. They're
Hmm.
engaged. They have
Yeah.
a vision for a different world, for something that's
Yeah.
more just, more equitable, more fair,
Yeah.
more aptly
Yeah.
representative even.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I listen to them and I watch them. I see them on other college campuses just hurting for Palestine right now, and
Yeah.
they're engaged.
Right.
And some of the things that I've talked about in front of my kids and their
Hmm.
friends, they're like, "Mom, we know." Like I'm thinking I'm doing some revelation. It's like
Uh-huh.
revelatory teaching. Like
Uh-huh.
these are
Uh-huh.
paradigms we are shifting and we reject and we will
Uh-huh.
overturn. And they're like, duh. Like,
Yeah.
and so I'm hopeful. I'm
Yeah.
hopeful that they're going to
Yeah.
come up and do more than we were able / willing to do
Yeah.
one generation ahead of them.
Yeah, yeah. And I think they're very teachable. Like,
Yeah.
some of the things that we're seeing, I know that these kids are teachable with the right direction, and they are listening, they're leaning in,
They are.
and they are compassionate. They are a very just generation, and they empathize. And so I think we're in good hands, but I think it's going to come with a lot of discomfort. I have, just, and then when we're talking about even some of the rolling back
Yeah.
of DEI is so broad in that
Yeah.
sense. We're talking about, gender issues.
Sure.
We're talking about,
Right.
uh,
LGBTQ kids. Like
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
broad.
It's
Yeah.
broad. We're talking about
Yeah.
special needs, like
Yeah.
kids
That's
that
right.
have physical challenges, like so it's not just even race in that. I'm
Yeah.
talking about even, with all the anti-Semitism that's happening now,
That's right.
Islamophobia, like all these things that are happening. You want your kids to be able to have people that's gonna stick up for them, that's going to be there to listen and stand in the kitchen with them. So
That's
I'm
right.
not just like seeking that just for kids that look like me, but I'm thinking about any kids that are in the margins.
Yeah. That's right.
We want to have that place, those
That's right.
those those brave spaces on college campuses. So I am and encouraged by what I'm seeing.
Mm.
But it is that tension of like there's some encouragement, but then there's some disturbance that we all have.
Sure.
What would you say? Because a lot of people that are in this work, I would say there were many that started out with me, but now they've gone astray. Like, because
Totally. Yes.
and those of
Yeah.
you, that's an old song, but like,
Yes.
it is difficult, and it's so
Yeah.
easy to get
That's right.
discouraged in this when it is a slow moving of the needle.
Mhm.
What words of encouragement do you have for the Be the Bridge community?
Yeah.
People who are still, on the battlefield, they're still in
Yeah.
the game. They are
Yeah.
still wanting to see restoration of
That's
of,
right.
of all systems. Like we want to see racial healing. We want to see, our version of reconciliation while we're still breathing, in that
Yes.
sense. What would you say? What is some encouragement?
Mm. Oh gosh, I'm so proud of the community that you have built, and
Uh-huh.
um, the individual decision that somebody makes to say, this matters, and to I'm willing to accept all the discomfort that comes with that, because of course to this conversation there's this this sort of maximum discomfort that we see at the policy level, at the university level, at the state level, like, huge. But for most ordinary folks, it's down on the ground for them. This is micro. This is their uncle. This is their neighbor. Yeah. It is the conversation with that one coworker that they have. Yeah. And then it becomes kind of chronic. It's this sort of chronic rub. And you have to, staying in it requires a certain tenacity and strength of character. And it really does. It would be much easier to just off ramp and go, I'm just going to let somebody else carry this one. Like, can I pick something else? And so I'm proud of people who say this is the right thing to do. And I'll tell them maybe something I tell myself internally. This has been a bit of a North Star for me for a lot of years, which is, it starts like really, really low. Rachel Held Evans told me this one time about a different issue, but it was instructive to me, and I've hung on to it, which is doing the right thing is its own reward. And so there is an innate goodness and power and agency and strength in simply doing the right thing. Whether your uncle agrees with you or not, whether it's going to create the 59th in a row hard conversation you have had with your sister. It doesn't matter. Regardless of what is on the results side of the equation, doing the right thing is its own reward. And so I tell myself a lot, and I think this a lot when I'm in the melee of like frenzy and criticism, and that can be very loud and disorienting. I think of myself a lot like a 95-year-old when I'm 95, and I think of myself there at the very end of my life, and I think about her. First of all, who I want her to be, about her coming back to the me right now and saying, you're doing the right thing. Stay the course. This is the story you want to write with your life. This is the one. And when you're 95, be proud of it. Be proud that you stayed at the tables that need to be stayed at. Be proud that you were willing to weather discomfort. That's not the worst thing in the world. We're not going to die. We're not going to die from it. Write the story now that you want to tell with your whole life. And so 95-year-old me gives me a lot of courage sometimes. Also wisdom. She gives me wisdom. Like, no, let's separate from like what feels noisy today. Cause as you mentioned, you said at the top of the show, America has a short-term memory. Sure do. Sure do. Things peak, recede, recede. Everything passes. And so what's the through line that you want to tell? And so I think about that a lot. And to your other point, history keeps receipts. Even my own personal history. My personal history will have receipts of the choices I made now, while I'm 49, and when I'm 54, and when I'm 61. And I want to make sure that those receipts are the ones I want to write.
Yeah, so good, so good. I think about that song all the time in Hamilton, where it says, history has its eyes on you, And I think there's so much that we can learn from that. And what you just said was just poignant, like, what receipts do I want to keep? Like,
That's right.
And so I think about that, and that's the going power. So it's easy to give up, to give in, and to give into despair. But that is not going to resolve, anything. But it is okay for some of us, sometimes we need a timeout. Sometimes we got to get on the sidelines to catch our breath. But the plan is to get back into the game. So that's going to happen. And so we're going to get tired. We're going to need people to kind of hold our arms up and keep it going while we, regain our strength. And I think that's okay, but we just have to keep playing. We have to keep playing, and we have to stay the course. So you've launched a lot of books. You were very instrumental in helping me navigate this publishing world. This is going to be book 2. Can you believe it? I mean, I keep saying
I sure
keep saying
can.
I wrote a whole book. Like
You sure did. I believed in book 1.
I
So
know,
yeah,
I
I can
am
believe
like,
in book 2. You bet
so,
it. You better believe it.
and just even with the title,
Yeah.
brown faces, white
White
spaces, like
spaces. Yep.
that's that's
Hmm.
that is
That's
the
it.
world in which a lot of us live.
That's right.
And talking about systemic racism, something that a lot of people deny that is actually true and real, which is
That's right.
unfathomable to me when we have
Yeah.
people living. We're looking at our current systems now, but we know that there's a blindness. What you've launched a lot of
Hmm.
books, and you've done a lot of things.
Hmm.
How would you say I have a hard time celebrating like
Hmm.
milestones? Like I'm like
Yeah.
I'm on to the next thing, like the
Me
next thing and the next
too.
thing and the next thing.
Gosh. I'm an
I need
Enneagram
you
3.
gotta help me. I need some help.
Uh,
You can't do
Tasha,
like
I'm 5 miles down the road before I've even put the brakes on where I'm at.
oh,
Like, me too. It's one of my kind of spiritual
oh my
practices
goodness.
to figure
Okay.
out how to be
Okay.
grateful
Okay.
and celebrate a moment when it's happening. Because I
So
am the
what are you
same way.
learning? So help me out. What are you learning with that? Because
Yeah.
you're the same way. How do
Yeah.
we you know,
Yeah. I am the same
what do
way.
we do to celebrate
Yeah.
when things like this happen?
Yes.
Especially in the midst of all the brokenness that's still
I
happening.
know.
It's kind of
I
hard to
know.
celebrate,
Totally. Here in 2024, everything's on
Yeah.
fire. I
Yes.
know. But the thing is,
Everything's
it
on
always
fire.
is. It always
Yes,
is.
that's so
Like,
true.
there's always a relevant and reasonable reason that we could say, I don't have time to celebrate. This is too
Okay.
urgent. We're in a crisis. That will never end. Literally,
Yeah.
we will always be too busy. There will always be too much going on. There's always cause for alarm,
Yes.
unfortunately. And so there's a pretty easy list we can grab from if we're wanting
Okay.
to opt out of gratefulness, of celebration, of
Yeah.
milestone like acknowledgement. I learned this best probably from my friend Sarah Bessie, who is so
Mhm.
good at this. She's a 9 like you.
Okay.
And
Oh, that's
she is
good.
so good at this. And so this is boring. Like, this is very low hanging fruit. Like, I'm not about to tell you something that interesting.
Okay.
This isn't some fancy like tactic to figure out how to be present in the
Right.
dailiness of our lives. But one thing I just learned from her is that she's done this for years. Just years and years and years. And I always watch it like, is this how we do it? She'll just say it out loud. She'll say it to my ears. She'll write it in her spaces. She'll be
Okay.
like, this was so, but I'm so proud of this. She says words like this.
Oh.
I'm so proud of this work. This is such an honor. I'm so grateful for my readers. This is just
Okay.
such a beautiful day. I'm like, oh my God, we just say it like that. Like,
Just
we
say
just
it.
say it
Okay.
to each other. We write
Okay.
it down. And something
Okay.
about, I think you and I both think this. Words are powerful, and words
Yes.
can call forth
Yeah.
powerful
Yeah. Yeah.
realities, and we
Yes.
create them with our
Yeah.
sentences.
Yeah.
And so there is something as like low touch as
Yeah.
simply forcing yourself to say
Okay.
out loud with your words to yourself, to your team, to your
Yeah.
community, to your social media community. Guys, this one cost a lot. I'm proud of it. What a day.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
what a day. Thank you for helping me birth this baby into the world. Like, and somehow you start believing yourself. Like, all of
Uh-huh.
a sudden you start feeling that. And so
Yeah.
you have every reason to just hoist yourself up and be like, that's it. Everybody's off work today. It's party time.
It's
a
good.
labor. Your work
Yeah.
is particularly laborious.
Yeah.
Not just physically, of course. Writing a book is so
Yeah.
physically demanding, but
Yeah.
emotionally, spiritually,
Yeah.
socially.
Yeah.
And so I am so proud of you. And if you're like, can you believe book number 2? I'm like, let's talk about, I look forward to this conversation when we're on book number 7. Like,
oh my goodness.
let's just keep going. Let's just keep going.
Listen,
You're going to keep going.
You're speaking life. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I am so I am so grateful for you, Jen. I am
Same.
so appreciative of your bravery and
Mm,
your courage. I also value your honesty and your
thank you.
authenticity, and
Mm,
I it's never missed upon me, you know. And
thank you.
just know, I know you have my back, and you know I
Same.
have your back, and
Got
I'm
it.
so grateful, and
Yeah,
we can stand in the midst of that, you know,
that's right.
with everything, all the difficulties that's
That's right.
happening, that's going on. And
That's
so
right.
I'm just, thank you for cheering me on. Know that I'm cheering you on. Like
Same. Our
Oprah, I was
95-year-old
like, she
selves are
was
going to
on
be
the
like, look,
stage with
she
Oprah.
touched her. She touched her. My sisters were like, don't you dare take a shower before we get to like touch wherever Oprah touched you. I'm like, I know.
I
I
was like,
know.
the first thing, you know,
I
look,
know.
I'm gonna be real. Look, we're gonna keep it
Yeah.
real. I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
what does she smell like?
That's what my sisters asked me. My sister said, what did she smell like? And I said, magic. She smelled like magic.
I was like, you know,
So,
I was like, did she wear some
yeah.
Delina, or was she wearing Creed, or you know, like, it's so
She was
funny, but it's so
perfection.
great.
She was
It's great.
perfection.
And you
I
look
know.
great. I saw.
Thanks.
Listen, you know, I pay attention to all the things.
I
The
know.
black dress with the green shoes popping. That's the
Listen,
first
what
thing
are you
I
going to
noticed.
do?
I said,
What are you
the
going to
green
do?
shoes. The green
Yeah.
shoes.
I was just
They
trying to
were
impress
nice.
Oprah.
They were
You know,
nice.
that's it. I just want to impress Oprah. It was my only goal.
Well, thank you so
You're
much
welcome.
for coming on and celebrating
Yeah.
this milestone, and just
Yeah.
catching
It's
us
big.
up. You know, what is something that you can give us a little sneak peek of something you're working on?
Oh, I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited for this. Thank you for, by the way, always coming into my community. I had your other book in my book club. You came in and did training for my
Yeah.
entire book club community. They're still talking about that.
Wow.
You've just, right, like the grant round where we voted Be the Bridge, seed money
Yeah.
in was the easiest check we ever wrote. Like, I
Yeah. We've
just,
gotten
my
it
community,
twice.
yeah, my community loves you and
Yeah.
respects you
Yeah.
so much, and you have served my community.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I just, I'm team you forever.
Yeah.
Let's see. A fun thing that I'm working on is graduating my last of 5 kids in 2
Oh my.
weeks. That's a fun
Oh
thing I'm
my
working on.
gosh.
That's it, man.
Oh my
Let's
gosh.
go. The ship's
She's a
about to sail.
senior. She
She's a
is a
senior.
senior.
She's a senior. That's it. We've
Oh
done it.
my goodness.
We've done it. I'm like, holy moly. I got 5 kids through high school. Like, where's my
goodness.
parade?
That's so good.
Where's my prize?
And let's just sit it there. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Like,
gonna sit and celebrate. I'm gonna say it out loud. I raised 5 kids to adulthood. It's no joke.
and
So,
she's driving and everything.
oh yeah,
And
yeah.
I just remember
She's a
her
beauty.
getting braids, and just gorgeous.
She's a
And
beauty.
she's still really tall. She was like the last I
She's
saw.
tall. She's stunning. She is stunning.
Oh my
has
goodness.
no idea. When I tell you, she has no idea.
Just oblivious to it.
Absolutely oblivious. I promise you, she has no idea.
Goodness.
But I mean, she is just a stunning person inside and out. And
Congratulations.
so, thank you. I'm excited. I'm excited for me.
I'm sorry. Well, celebrate.
Yes.
Celebrate.
Yes.
And just know
Okay.
that, you know, my friend, she launched all of hers, and they'll all be back for the summer.
I know. You don't
And
have to
she
tell me
said
that.
her grocery bill.
I know.
She said, you know what? She said, I think
Yeah.
these years are tougher
Uh-huh.
because she was
Yeah.
like, they're adults.
That's
And
right.
so, you know, they won't just do what you say at that point.
That's right.
You know, it's like they
But
have
also,
their
they're
own
like,
mindset.
what's for dinner?
Exactly.
So,
And they're gonna be more demanding in your house.
Totally.
But it's like,
That's so
but you're
real.
still in my house.
It's so real.
Oh well.
It's so true.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Enjoy every moment of
Thank
it.
you.
Okay.
Thank you. Love you so much.